What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Welcome back to What's Happening Now. It has been a fucking minute. I have not recorded really at all in February. Not at all. I think I touched on this a little bit in the last episode, how I typically end up kind of in a funk around this time of year, and I meant it. In the last episode, though, I did say that I would be recording a bunch, and I did not record a bunch. I got a couple little promo videos that I wanted to shoot. One was going to be for Mission Infect Weekend, which is happening right now. The announcements for any merchandise was late, so I was going to do fucking Mission Infect reviews. Just never got around to it. I'm kind of in a headspace right now where I'm trying to figure out a new way to do reviews because I'm not fully feeling the way I'm doing reviews right now. It's almost becoming a chore to do certain reviews where it's like I just want to listen to the music without dissecting the music, but then it's like I feel like I got to dissect the music to review it. So I'm trying to figure out a better way to meet in the middle on that. So I didn't do any of the Mission Infect reviews that I wanted to. Didn't put out the promo yet for it, but I did shoot a really dope one for Neon Sermon Weekend, which is next weekend, and I'm excited as fuck for that. But yeah, I didn't really do much at all in February, so there's honestly not a terrible amount of stuff that happened. I mean, Juggalo Weekend came and went. The Gathering went. The Gathering tickets went on sale. Well, they delayed the launching of the sale, but then everything went on sale. And from my understanding, it was very smooth sailing. Again, I'm at this moment not planning on going. It's kind of in the air. So I wasn't really on the site anyway, because even if I do go this year, I'm not doing, I'm not doing the traditional camping, so I didn't need a car pass. And if I do decide to go to the Gathering, the tickets will still be on sale before the Gathering even happens. So I didn't even really experience the normal headache myself because obviously I wasn't on the website. But there is some shit that has happened that we got to talk about, that I want to talk about. So let's go ahead and let's switch it over and let's get the shindig started. Hang on, I'm on the wrong page on Fagel Lovers. I'm going to take it to the actual main page that you'll first load up to. Let me let it do what it's doing, and then we'll switch over to this screen right here. And my God, am I tiny in the corner here. Let's make me bigger. You know what I mean? Gotta play with it a little bit. I think it's a little bit bigger. I think you can do more stuff with it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, again, a lot of stuff. Kind of 3 pages worth of stuff that has happened or has been announced. As always, what's happening now? This is really me kind of touching on the things that interest me the most. This isn't supposed to be news. This is supposed to be kind of my thoughts on things. And I do apologize if my voice seems funky. I am fighting off a cold. I actually got it a week ago today, and I'm on the mend now. So that's part of the other reason why I haven't recorded anything. But honestly, I can't even use that as an excuse because I just have not been recording. I just haven't. So I go through this quite a bit. If you've been subscribed for a while, you know there's usually times that I go a month, maybe 2 months, where I'm just not recording a lot. So I'm here. We doing this. I have another video I want to record right after this. So let's jump into it. I got all my tabs up here. I had another one pulled up, but I closed out of it because I'm trying to just I want to paraphrase a little bit if I can, but also not. But it required me to pull up Facebook, and I don't like pulling up Facebook just because, that's my personal shit. Anyway, let's jump into it. Hopefully there's not a lot of that going on right there. One of the big announcements, Attack of the Ninjas Weekend, announced for Astronomicon 7. This right here made my interest in Astronomicon go up a little bit. I've talked about it a little bit in the past, how I am not really big on the convention scene. Going and meeting celebrities just really isn't something that's on my bucket list. It's just really not something that I guess interests me in that way. So Astronomicon has just been something that's just not been something that I feel like I would be into. If I went to Astro, it would be for the concerts. It would be for certain events, or it would be for certain seminars, if you will. When they announced this, I was like, okay, interest just went up a little bit. My sights are still heavily set on Camp Zool and possibly the Float, which God, that would have been a fucking excellent segue. But the interest in Astronomicon just went up. They announced Attack of the Ninjas weekend, and if you don't know, which I think most people fucking know what Attack of the Ninjas is, it's kind of like their take on Hatchet Attacks. It's like it's the whole MNE label at a concert. They've done it in different, like, they never have it set at the same time. Like, they've had it during Fright Fest, they've had it in the middle of the summer, they've had it at Astro, I believe, a couple times before. They kind of sporadically just move it around through the year, which I think is kind of cool because I think it gives people the opportunity to actually see Attack of the Ninjas. If they always had it at the same time of year, I think that would make it much more difficult. Because, I mean, like, look at The Gathering. The Gathering is almost always in June or July or August. And the homie Ecocide Fiend hasn't been able to make it because just where he works at, he hasn't been able to, get that time off to go experience a gathering. So, the fact that they move it around through the year, they move Attack of the Ninjas around through the year, I think it definitely gives people the opportunity to make it to one. And eventually I would like to scratch Attack of the Ninjas off my list. So, but it says right here, Astronomicon 7 is officially Attack of the Ninjas weekend. Get to town early on Friday for the Brews with Blaze pre-party. After the convention, don't miss the return of Killer Karaoke as well as surprises and performances at the Friday night VIP party. Saturday night's main event will be the Attack of the Ninjas concert experience featuring a special performance. Oh, I totally didn't even see that when they first announced it. Like a true ninja, tiptoe through panels, guests, events, and signings all week long. The Attack of the Ninjas weekend will be in full effect this April 12th through the 14th at Burton Manor in Livonia. Grab your tickets and VIPs now before they vanish like a true ninja. So there really wasn't a whole lot there kind of announced, like what special sets they're going to be doing or anything. If I remember correctly, was it the one where it was at Fright Fest, and I think it was 2021. They did a HOK set. If I remember that correctly, if I'm remembering that incorrectly, correct me. But I believe that was when it was that they did that. So they've done like HOK performances at Attack of the Ninjas. This is like their special event where they do that special kind of shit. So again, interest in Astronomicon just went up a little bit. It just went up a little bit. But I was just talking to my brother before I started recording. He asked me if I was going to the gathering, and I said that my sights are in Camp Zool and possibly the float. And the thing about Camp Zool is I feel like Camp Zool is going to have more of the artists performing that I'm going to be the most interested in seeing. Obviously, I've seen Super Famous Fun Time guys now. I've seen Zool officially now. I've seen SON, but I would love to see them all perform again. I would love to see Stray fucking kill it on a stage. Honestly, I would love to see Mad Max come out to Camp Zool. I know Low-Key is fucking retired from performing, but to see him roll through Camp Zool, even just to fucking like hang out with fans and shit, would be really fucking cool. I feel like Camp Zool is going to cater more to like the underground scene that I'm a little bit more tuned to right now. Like a big for instance is Monoxide's Chainsmoker 2 just fucking dropped, just came out, and this morning I'm over here bumping Mission Infect instead of Chainsmoker 2. That's kind of crazy for me because in the past it was like I always like I don't care for that Juggalo rap shit, it's all psychopathic. I was horrible with that mindset, and now it's like flipped on its head to where I would rather listen to underground shit like that than the new fucking hot shit from fucking Magic Ninja Entertainment or Psychopathic Records. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm going to completely jump right the fuck off of that and go into the Mission Infect Virtual Reality House Party event. This says it was updated. I don't know why it was updated or when it was updated. This actually went down last night. I did not attend it. I don't remember if I had mentioned this in my last episode or not, but I low-key, pun intended, got fucking pressured into getting a VR headset. Low-key was on the Zargorg show back at the beginning of the month. And there, I had posed a question, or I had made a statement in the chat about how we need some new Mission Infect. And low-key, or I think it might have been Zargorg or Bad Luck. I think he was going as Bad Luck at the time. He jumps in and out of character during that show. he actually had put in there like, oh, like phase 5 and phase 6. And Loke was like, I'll tell you what, if Mr. DCFAYGOGUY pulls up to the house party in full VR, not on the phone, not on the computer, we will drop a new Mission Effect album. And I'm not gonna lie, I that took me and I was like, fuck, now I have to be there, right? I was seriously considering getting a VR headset to make it, but honestly, financially, it's just not in the cards for me. Because to really, truly, fully appreciate the VR experience, I would actually need 2 of them. That way Megs could be with me. Because how fucking stale would that be for me to be there with a fucking VR headset and there she is missing out on what's going on? You know? And I could get it on my computer, but when I downloaded Steam and was getting ready to get VR chat, and it was going to take up a huge chunk of space on my computer, and I was like, I hit the brakes. I was like, wait a minute. Like, this could potentially slow down my computer and really hinder not only my ability to make videos, but Meg's ability to make videos. Because she's fucking killing it right now. She's been putting out, like, daily uploads since last year's gathering. Think about that. Daily fucking episodes. Or daily fucking videos. All kinds of shit. From, like, CD... I don't want to say unboxings, but like she goes through the CDs kind of like I used to in my reviews. She's been doing that. She's been doing fucking reactions. She's got some crazy reaction videos about to come up. And like she's just fucking killing it and grinding it. So when I seen how much space that was going to take, I was like, this could really hinder mine and hers ability to, you know, do what we love to do here with making videos and shit. So I did pump the brakes on that. Next weekend's Neon Sermon weekend, and that as much as the Mission Infect house party really interested me, the Neon Sermon weekend, they're going to be doing a performance. And that really has my attention. Because if you know, Loke doesn't perform anymore. Loke doesn't tour like he used to. He doesn't get up on stage like that anymore. And this is going to be like the only way to see him live. And it has me like, I want to be there, but... And I guess there's always the possibility of like downloading VR chat for the events and then getting rid of it and then downloading it when an event comes up. There is that option, but you know, financially, I don't really have the money to really put into that right now to make sure that my computer can handle it. You know, I've got some debts that I've got to pay off. So, you know, it just is what it is. Unfortunately, I have to miss out on the dopeness like this. So, but jumping off of that, I didn't fucking pull it up. They did drop a brand new fucking Mission Infect album. It's available right now on shadowlandshop.com. It hasn't hit streaming yet. They haven't even announced it officially. I know about it because I'm in that Dreamwalkers Discord server right here. This link right here. Make sure you head to Fag Lovers and join this Discord right here. Because you get a lot of behind the scenes shit with Loke. You get to know about upcoming shit. And it's honestly the place to be for news because, you know, he has Instagram and Facebook, but we all know how they are with their algorithms. They don't always show everybody that's following you what you just posted. You know what I mean? So if you want to fucking be like in the fucking know, the Dreamwalker Discord is the place to be. They even have it to where you can opt in for certain announcements, like whenever low-key drops new shit, that it'll fucking prompt you. So that is the place to be, honestly, for all of your low-key news, to be honest. But yeah, they did drop a brand new fucking Mission Infect album. It is called, what was it? What was it? Oh shit, what was it? Armageddon, that's what it was. Armageddon with the M-I in the middle. Yeah. Fuck, man. Why did I space on that? That fucking is super stale. But yeah, right now they got some new merch. You know what? I'm going to fucking pull it up. We're going to fucking pull it up because that's just what we're going to do. Shadowlandshop.com. Because it should be like right there. Come on, computer. Be quicker than that. Be faster than that. Thank you. So they got some fresh new merch, and this shirt actually I kind of really like. I like that camo. But there you see the new CD. There is no track list. A little bit disappointed by that. I would have loved to have seen a track list just to see who all was involved. And then, you know, going through and looking at all the other CDs, because I was like, fuck, am I about to buy all the fucking Mission Effect albums right now? Some of the albums used to show track lists, and now they don't. So I don't know if this was just like a change that the website itself made or what. But yeah, Armageddon. 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 I don't know. I feel like you would say it as Armageddon, right? But yeah, that dropped fucking last night, like in the middle of the night. I fucking texted the homie Roanbone at 1 in the morning. Yo, they just dropped new Infect. So hopefully he doesn't wake up and get pissed like, motherfucker, why are you texting me at 1 in the fucking morning? Because I know he's a low-key fan, and they, like I said, they have not announced it. It's not, he hasn't put it on any of his social media platform. They really didn't even announce it in the Discord server. It was people that attended the event that was like, yo, new merch, new album, and I guess they even, like, played the new album during the party last night. And, you know, I knew it was going to do, I knew it was going to be fucking dope. I knew it was going to be fucking awesome, but, like, yeah. The other thing kind of about these VR events is I've watched some streams because Loke's been live streaming them and I've seen like how it is. I'm still working up the courage to attend one too because I've talked about being introvert as a motherfucker, and looking at the vibe of these VR events, it's kind of like going to, I mean, it's honestly, it's like going to a concert and you go and you find all your friends and you mingle and shit like that. Or it's kind of like going to a club and mingling with people. I'm introvert like a motherfucker, and I would think being through VR it would be a little bit easier to go mingle, but it's like there's still that bashfulness that is holding me back. So like if I finally do download VR chat and make my avatar and stuff, I'm fucking taking a couple of shots of vodka before I go into that fucking party, which might make a fool of myself. I don't know, but yeah. Mission Infect house party went down. It sounds like it was so fucking awesome. And we got a new album and some new merch. So head over to shadowlandshop.com to go scoop you up some. I might grab that fucking shirt. I don't know. I don't need any more shirts, but I don't have any Mission Infect merch. I don't know. It's a good thing Megs isn't here. I'd get in trouble. But moving right along. This actually already took place. This took place last Sunday, actually. But Brother Al, I think I briefly mentioned it on the last episode, how they were going to be doing like a benefit concert or a remembrance concert for Brother Al. If you don't know who that is Sin from Zug Island's brother. And my understanding, and I never knew this, Brother Al was very hands-on with like behind the scenes shit as far as concerts go. I think they said he was like a stage manager. And it was so much to the point of how involved he was. Even Tech9 made a post about Brother Al because Brother Al had worked with Tech9 on some of his shows, you know. And that's the thing is so many juggalos say, oh, like Tech9 doesn't remember where he came from. He doesn't recognize where he came from. Well, that's fucking proof that he does, man. Like, he didn't have to make any posts about that. Here you have Brother Al from this juggalo scene. And that's the other thing is people like, oh, they want to show Juggalo love when it's convenient. Like, no, man, he showed love to the fucking Juggalo scene from somebody who was a huge part of like his shows, and like, yeah, people forget that shit. But you know, I mean, that's just the toxic nature of toxic motherfuckers. They only want to point out negative shit. They don't want to recognize the real good shit. But there was a celebration of life for Big Al. It went down at the Diesel's Concert Lounge. Jamie Madrox was there. ABK was there. George Vlahiki, I can never say his name. George from MNE was there. Trying to remember who else was there. Rude Boy was supposed to be there. My understanding is he wasn't. I'm not here to talk the toxic bullshit. It is what it is. I'm sure he had his reasons. I'm sure we can guess what those reasons were. You know, my hope was seeing that Rude Boy and Madrox and ABK was going to be there. I was like, this is the fucking baby step towards like at least having peaceful resolution. Like they don't have to make amends, but it could be like the baby step towards at least peacefully existing and stop blacklisting people because of who they're, who they perform with or who they have a song with. You know what I mean? Like, my hope is that it could come to a point where the blacklisting can stop. I don't expect anybody to be fucking friends, but the blacklist motherfuckers is where it needs to end. But unfortunately, that did not happen, and it is what it is, and it's just, it just shows that we're not there yet. We're not even ready to take that baby step, if you will. But, that's kind of how I felt. I was like, man, it's going to take a death before we even remotely start to come to some kind of peaceful resolution. And like this happened, I was like, fuck, is this the baby step? And nah, it's not. I guess Brother Al wasn't significant enough for people to try to make amends. But it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Again, I don't want to talk about the toxic bullshit. So let's move the fuck on from that. But really awesome that everyone that did come together, regardless of politics, to celebrate Brother Al. Super fucking awesome. And rest in peace to Brother Al. Moving along, my segue from earlier. Here it is. Tom Wood announces the float. Of course, it always goes down the weekend of Labor Day, so you always know when to expect it. Kind of contradictory to one of the things I said about Attack of the Ninjas, how they always move it. But the other good thing is you always know exactly. You know exactly when the float is. It's always Labor Day weekend, so you can go into the year. You can make the requests that you need to make to get time off if it interests you. And this year it interests me like a motherfucker because it's a growing event, and I wanna experience the float in its quote unquote infancy, if you will. I want to experience it before it becomes like as big as the gathering, and we have people from outside of the scene coming to the event. You know what I mean? So yeah, my sights are set on the float as well as Camp Zool this year. And yeah, tickets are on sale starting Mitch. What the fuck was that? Starting March 15th. So it's probably going to be a while before we have any kind of lineup announced, which for me, what really interests me about the float is the experience itself of fucking going down the river. I've only ever done that once in my life. When I was young, we lived out in Utah. We went to Idaho, I think it was, to I don't want to say they were family, but they were like family friends, if you will. They were kind of like a quote unquote adoptive family for my mom, but not really. They didn't adopt her or anything. She's just kind of like, she's like, oh, you guys feel like more like family than my own actually family. So that's who they were to us. And they took us tubing down like a creek or a river up in Idaho. It was a memory that's really kind of like locked down and kind of buried. I remember that trip I left that trip with the god awful worst sunburn of my life. Like had the blisters and everything on my shoulder. And only one other time did I have a really bad sunburn on my shoulders. And now to this day, like they're sensitive. Like Megs will all the time try to rub my shoulder. And there's certain ways that you touch it, certain areas you touch it where it's like, don't touch my shoulder. It's just sensitive now. But yeah, the float officially announced. Going down Labor Day weekend as it always does. The fun continues, as the flyer says. So tickets for that go on sale March 15th. And I am interested as fuck. Because Megs and I realized that the float is actually a lot closer than we thought. For whatever reason, we thought it was like in southern Missouri. Or yeah, it's in southern Missouri, but we thought it was like southern Arkansas. It's actually closer to northern Arkansas, like towards the Missouri border. So we're like, oh fuck, that's actually a very doable drive, because like we always had it in our head like, oh, we're gonna have to fly there, so it's gonna be really expensive. And so we just always kind of passed it up, and now we're like, yo, we could totally drive there. So yeah, the float going down Labor Day weekend. The next thing that and the reason why I wanted to bring this up was we'll get into it. But Young Wicked mixtape Volume 2 has been announced, and this was like really kind of, I don't want to say it was on the heels of Chainsmoker 2 because Chainsmoker 2 hadn't dropped yet when they announced this. This news dropped on the 23rd. Obviously, Monoxide's new album dropped on the 29th on Leap Day. But they're keeping their momentum going at M&E. But it really is interesting because when you look at this, it is kind of labeled James Garcia, right? Because he did his name change a couple years ago. He dropped Activated. Really great album, in my opinion. A lot of people didn't care for it, but I liked it. I fucked with the sound of that album, but, Young Wicked decided to start going by James Garcia, and as you can see here, he is still carrying that on. He hasn't forgotten that. He's still going by James Garcia. And now we're getting the Young Wicked mixtape. I find it really interesting that he's still going with that name for the mixtape, but on the same hand, if you have the Young Wicked mixtape and then you drop the James Garcia mixtape, it kind of continuity wise would ruin it. So I could see why they would continue to call it the Young Wicked mixtape 2. But I did find that very interesting, how it's James Garcia, MNE presents Young Wicked mixtape volume 2. But yeah, 11. Wow, that was awful. Thanks for that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Woo. Sorry about that, everybody. You know, listening to Chainsmoker too, the fucking intro. I went and told a few people, I was like, man, I felt that intro for real. It hurt. I actually skipped that intro. Fuck that intro. I don't like it. Anyway, the Young Wicked mixtape volume 2 dropping Friday, March 29th. So at the end of this month, which makes me curious if they will announce somebody else's project closer to the end of March and it'll come out at the end of April, which is something they kind of did back in 2017. They had their Year of the Sword, and then they did like several drops. And I wonder if they're trying to like recapture that here, because that was kind of how 2017 did. It was like Guerrilla Voltage was in February. I don't even remember everything. That was too long ago. That was 7 fucking years ago. But yeah, the Young Wicked mixtape, and oddly still enough, James Garcia. I think that's why I pulled this up. But it definitely, I found it interesting. And I remember, I believe I had seen on Young Wicked's Instagram, he had talked about how it's not going to be like technically a mixtape. It will be new music. So I think that's just his way of, maybe this is just his way of continuing to do the Young Wicked moniker and do the quote unquote wicked shit without completely dedicating, you know, himself to doing just Young Wicked and wicked shit. Maybe that, hey, maybe we just solved maybe the puzzle. I don't know, maybe I'll go ask him. I don't know. Maybe I won't. He ain't gonna fucking respond to me. I'm nobody. But yeah. Young Wicked mixtape 2 dropping at the end of the month. And then the last thing that I want to leave off on, and I want to leave off on a positive bit, right? Like I said, we like to keep it, we stay away from the bullshit. We stay away from the toxic bullshit. They announced Alex Abbiss, weirdly spelled here, Abbiss. It's spelled like Abbiss here. Maybe that's his like, maybe that's the name he's going by for, what do you call that? A writer? Because I believe he's putting out a comic, if I remember correctly. He's putting out a comic here. But yeah, here's some quick but unexpected MNE Entertainment news. Don't let the incorrect spelling of the promo fool you. Alex Abbiss, the co-founder and former president and CEO of Psychopathic Records, has been announced as a guest for Astro 7. There will be a Twisted panel with Alex Abbiss too. Check out the promo, Astro 7 guest announcement with Alex Abbiss right below. Grab your advanced Astro, yeah. But yeah, they announced Alex Abbiss for Astronomicon. And this actually isn't the first time that Alex Abbiss has resurfaced. I think some people forget this because maybe not a lot of people paid attention to it. But back in 2020, Twisted did NetFest on Your Couch. Right when COVID hit, they were doing a concert series, I think through YouTube, where they were doing performances and had like little appearances, and one of them was from Alex Abbiss. I find this super duper interesting that he's kind of coming back into the scene a little bit, and I see he's doing it kind of through the comic book world, which you know, I don't really know a whole lot about like Alex's background. I knew obviously that he owned the record store that ICP went to and had him sell Dog Pete's tapes, or it was Basement Cuts tapes. And when you know, Alex sold so many of them, that was when they were finally like, yo, we want you to manage us, and you know, the rest is history, right? But as far as like his background of like comic books and stuff like that, like interests and things like that, I don't feel like there was enough interviews in the past with Alex to really kind of know, I guess you could say, his story. All we really knew was what was put in behind the paint. And maybe there is interviews out there and I've just never seen them. And that's on me for not knowing them. Maybe I should go do some research. I'm hoping Cali Green Too Fresh is watching right now. And he's like, yo, there is. And he fucking sends me one. Cali Green's the fucking homie like that, though. Like, he is, like, between him, Roan, and fucking Robbie from Do It for the Underground, they're like the encyclopedias. They're like the oracles of the underground. They're the know-alls. They're the people you go to when you want to know shit about about certain shits, right? So I find it super duper interesting that Alex is going to be there and that they're going to have this panel. I am curious if this panel will be targeted more towards his comic book that he's putting out, or if it's geared more towards talking about his story of what happened to him, why he left, which ICP kind of did do that during their shoot interview with Chris Hansen back in 2020, which I find interesting that he resurfaced on NetFest that year, and then later that year, people asked during the shoot interview about Alex Abbiss. I feel like that was probably a connected spark of question, you know what I mean? Like, people asked what happened to Alex because they saw him at NetFest. But yeah, the panel, super duper, definitely something I will be looking forward to if I don't go, which I don't know that I will. But if people put that out there on YouTube, it's definitely one of the first things I'm looking for. And Timmy, if you're watching, I know you're going. I hope you film this. I hope you film that panel. I hope you're going and you film it and you put it up on your channel. That would be the shit. But yeah, I'm super interested what this panel is going to be, you know. And I think most people toxically are thinking that it's going to be shit on Psychopathic and shit on ICP. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think it's just going to be telling, like, if it is what I think it might be, I think it'll be them telling, like, his story of, like, maybe even telling old stories from Psychopathic when Twisted joined. And the only reason that makes me think that that's where this panel is going to go is the fact that Twisted is going to be there. Because, yeah, that's just kind of what I'm wondering is going to happen. And I had it pulled up on Facebook, but I don't anymore. But Renee, Shaggy's wife, she put on there and put a really fucking positive. I'm taking it as positive. Because this, let me tell you about Renee. Renee is, to me, she's a godsend right now. To the Juggalo world, there's so much toxic bullshit going on. Hearsay. There's just so much. And there's Renee who's just like, she brings so much common sense. Her statement about why Alex is there, about them, you know, booking him because he had a huge part of their start. You know, they're where people always say that Twisted's where they're at now because of ICP. We also have to think who was behind ICP, Alex Abbiss. So the fact that Alex was so formative and Twisted being who Twisted is today, or such a huge part of it, having him at their event makes sense. And you know, the fact that he is the former Psychopathic CEO creates that shock value that it makes sense. It drives ticket sales, right? But on the same hand, Alex has some shit that he's trying to put out as well. So it's kind of like a win-win for everybody, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of highlight that because, like, I don't know. Renee is just like such a positive beam of light right now. Like, I'm just so thankful that Renee is here in the Juggalo world right now. Just because she's bringing a lot of fucking common sense. Yeah. So shout out to fucking Renee. I think that's gonna fucking end it. We're over 33 minutes, and I think the editing process of this is going to be rough, especially if I try to edit out my cough there. Which, fuck it, I might just leave it in. I don't fucking know. But anyway, that is what is happening now. Head over to shadowlandshop.com. Go check out the new Mission Infect merch. Pick up the new album if you're a fucking Infect soldier. And if you do not know who Mission Infect is, you can head to missioninfect.com, which will actually redirect you to listen to lowkey.com, but it'll bring up just the Mission Infect albums. And you can go listen to them absolutely free, which they are on streaming. You can do that there as well. But if you don't have streaming and you have no other means to listen to Mission Infect, you can head to missioninfect.com and it'll take you to listen to Loki.com. Listen to those shits for free and start fucking with Mission Infect, man, because they've been around almost 20 fucking years now. And yeah. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.